Hey everybody, Dan here, and we're going to talk about Jason X, which is the name that was given to the 10th installment in the Friday the 13th franchise. Now, this one tried yet again something new and different, and they sent Jason Voorhees into space. That's right. So it starts off, and there's, this military facility underneath Camp Crystal Lake. And they've got Jason locked up there, played again by the same guy who has played him in several of the previous films now, Kane Hodder. And he's just chained up. He's not going anywhere. I don't know how they managed to keep him there with just, chains, but whatever. So they end up, of course he escapes, and there's this whole, big to-do because, it's Jason. And the military's trying to stop him. He's slaughtering everybody. And it comes down to one woman who tries to, get him into this cryogenic storage container to, stop him. But of course he stabs a machete out of it into her. She falls down. All of the, cryogenic storage gas or whatever comes out and freezes her too, and the whole place goes on lockdown. So then many years later, in the future, after the Earth has been not destroyed, but it's become like a total wasteland, people from Earth 2 head out in a ship to the original Earth to try to get artifacts and relics and just anything that they can. And of course they find this cryogenic storage facility with Jason and this woman frozen. So Jason at the time is dead, or as dead as Jason ever is, and they figure they can thaw the woman and bring her back to life. No harm, no foul. So they bring her up onto the space station along with Jason, and of course Jason thaws. And that's when all hell breaks loose on the space station as they're headed towards Earth 2. Jason naturally begins to kill everybody on the ship. There's an android who is programmed by one of the crew members. Give me just 1 second here. Sorry about that. I'm, cooking some stuff up for food. So, anyway, this android ends up getting programmed to, just be a total amazing, military fighter. Has all these weapons, ends up cornering Jason and just blowing him to bits. It's a mess. And just knocks him right into this, container thing that they use to heal themselves, of course. So he falls into that, breaks that. It's no use, and he's just completely in just bits and pieces, and that appears to be the end of Jason. But of course the film still has about an hour to go, so it's not by a long shot. So of course the stuff that they use to, heal themselves and things like that, it's little nano machines that they can put on their bodies and, just lather on this, what's essentially a liquid, because there's so many tiny little, nano bots inside of it that help to, heal flesh and things like that. So this stuff starts to leak out of this container, gets all over Jason, begins to heal him, and of course there's not enough of him to make a whole human being. So they begin to take from other places and, you know, reshape him and remold him, and he becomes like, you know, basically Super Jason. He's all like, you know, android robotic arm and robotic leg, and, you know, new mask that goes all the way around his head and everything, and just, you know, it's all covered in metal, and he's like, you know, part robot. It's absolutely insane. You know, as if Jason wasn't, you know, powerful enough, now we've got, you know, Cyber Jason, Super Jason, whatever they call him. I don't know. If you know, drop it in the comments so I can, you know, get it right. But anyway, Super Jason ends up heading out and, you know, causing even more terror and killing off everybody. And as they're headed to Earth 2, they decide to just jettison him along with one of the like the commanders of the military folks who are on the ship, who are all dead now. And he's just fighting him off in space, and the people who survived are happy, you know, okay, hey, everything's cool. And then we go to Earth 2, and we see this you know, couple just kind of sitting there kissing next to a lake and everything, and they look up and they see a shooting star coming down, which of course it's implied that it's Jason falling down onto Earth 2. And they're just like, oh, let's see what that could have been. It looks like it landed in the lake. So of course this whole thing is just going to start over again, and he's on an entirely new Earth, you know, Earth 2, a new planet, and he's going to start slaughtering people again. So that's that. I mean, that's at least the implied ending. Which I suppose is a decent ending overall for a series, you know, like this. It's not too bad. It's really campy, really cheesy. The whole movie is just absolutely, you know, just full of nothing but cheese. But, you know, a lot of the special effects were quite good. The Super Jason costume that Kane Hodder was wearing was really amazing. So they spared no expense with that. But it's just the rest of the movie, like the whole thing is just totally campy and ridiculous and not to be taken seriously whatsoever, which I guess sort of makes it good. But the whole idea of Jason in space is just absolutely ridiculous, and I don't know, it's not exactly a film that I would highly recommend. But of course, if you're a fan of the series, you've got to complete the whole thing. You've got to see it all. So why not watch this one too? Now, folks, we've got 3 more movies that have to do with this whole series. The next one that I'll be doing is a non-canon film called Wes Craven's New Nightmare. And then, of course, there are modern remakes of the original Friday the 13th and the original Nightmare on Elm Street that we'll be covering. And that's it for that. And after that, I've got a pretty cool idea for, you know, most of the remainder of the month, and I'm going to end on a popular trilogy that is not actually a trilogy. So be sure to stick around and check those out. I'm out of here. I got to get some food in me. Have a good one.